Grüezi miteinander, Gregory von Lebensstark here. I'm reacting to one of our YouTube kettlebell workouts because I want to let you know what my thought patterns are while I'm working out. This workout specifically is a very high level and high intensity workout where I have to work pretty hard and think about a lot of things. If you keep working with the kettlebell for a longer time, if you keep working according to the law of exercise, a lot of the movement patterns will become automatic. And at the same time, I believe if you want to improve in your technique, you have to think about improving. You have to think about certain aspects of the movement if you want to become better. So it's kind of like automated and kind of like thinking about it. I believe it's the next level of improvement. I believe that this video can be of value to some of you. Let me know in the comments if you like it and share it with your friends, and let's get into it. Let's get this party started, ladies and gentlemen. So, whenever we do a heavy kettlebell workout like this, we always recommend a proper warm-up. That's what we do. We always do a mobility warm-up prior to heavy stuff, some heavy kettlebell stuff, because with the warm-up, you don't only want to get your heart rate up, but also prepare, mobilize your joints, your ligaments, your body. Just prep your body to go heavy so that it can function as good as possible. So now with the swing, as you can see, we have a neutral grip. So we let the kettlebell tilt. So it's not a perfect neutral grip. It's kind of like tilted inwards because we keep the shoulder width stance and we don't want the handle to connect to the thighs because that hurts. So we always have this neutral grip. And what the neutral grip does is it relaxes your arms as good as possible. If you do a lot of swings, if you do a lot of work with a heavy kettlebell, so that's like 100 swings, that's enough work. And I'm using a 24 kilo, Angie is using a 16 kilo. Then you want to make sure to keep your arms as relaxed as possible. If you use a front grip, you will probably feel some tension in your forearms and in your biceps. And this is totally fine. It depends on preference. But I know in this case, I know that I'm going to use my arms not as intense as I used to because my technique got a little better. But I know I'm just trying to relax my arms as much as possible. Relaxation in the arm is very important. That's one of the mistakes that beginners make is they try to move the kettlebell with the arm, which is instincts. If we have something in the arm in a tight grip, then we tend to use the shoulder, the whole arm to move the weight. But in this case, you have to kind of like override your instincts and let the kettlebell drop, let gravity do its thing, and use your hips to drive the kettlebell upwards. And now there's always a question like, okay, what's the height? How high has the kettlebell, how high has it to go? And sometimes I'm using a little bit of, I'm using more force to get the kettlebell up to chest level, and sometimes I'm using less force. It depends. If you want to get the kettlebell up to chest level, if you get it higher, then you probably feel more once the kettlebell lands in the backswing. You get a more intense stretch, and if you want to keep it like at this level, that's totally fine. It doesn't have to be always on chest level. Now we're up with the clean and press. Now this is actually what Angie and I are doing, is a clean and jerk. It's not a clean and press, technically speaking, because we always use the double dip. Once we got the kettlebell in the overhead top fixation, we use the double dip to relax quads and glutes and to reduce the distance where the kettlebell has to travel. But that's totally fine. That's just technically speaking. So what I'm doing right here is I'm thinking, it's funny, I'm always thinking I got my arm as close to my ear as possible, but I still see that the arm is kind of like flaring out to the side. It goes laterally, and I still have to work on my arm to keep it more straight up in the air, to keep it as tight as possible to my ear. So once I'm getting into the backswing, it's funny that I'm actually using a front grip because that increases the tension that I'm getting on forearm and biceps. But I think I'm doing it because on this side I feel more comfortable. I can't even remember, but sometimes I'm using a back grip or a neutral grip once I'm getting into the backswing from the rack rest position, and sometimes I keep the neutral grip. So yes, we keep working, we keep hustling. And just if you have a question about this white substance that we have on our hands and forearms, this is chalk. Chalk is a great tool to stop the kettlebell from moving inside of your palms. Once the kettlebell is moving inside of your palms, this is the worst thing that you will experience when you're working with the kettlebell for a longer time. So chalk prevents that, right? And that's liquid chalk that we're using. So you see in my right side, you see, I'm using a back grip. So I'm completely relaxing my arm. So the arm rotates. The reason why you have so much relaxation for your arm is once you rotate your arm in, the elbow can flex, so there's no tension. So the weight is evenly distributed and you don't have any tension at all. But if you keep it in a straight way, the front grip, then of course you will feel tension because the joint is locked, right? So I know that the right side, I'm having much more fun. I'm having more fun and I'm more safe in this side. So the arm is tight. Well, I lost some balance. I lost some balance there. So Angie is working. She's hustling as well. And Angie's pretty strong. She's very strong. She's also using chalk on her hips to reduce, to increase friction so that the elbow stays on her hips. So what I'm thinking about is when I'm dropping the kettlebell in the amortization phase, I'm trying to keep my arm as straight as possible. Don't flare out, trying to keep it as straight as possible so I can go directly into the backswing. Yeah, and this side is going so well. And you see me, I'm swinging so easy. So even the backswing here, I went a little deeper in the jerk to really relax my quads. And now we're switching into 60 snatches. Prior we did 32 clean and presses, so that's 16 left and 16 right. So idea is one arm switch, so you can do whatever combo you want to get to this amount of reps. So now I know the left side, I'm kind of like, it costs a lot of energy, but it got way better, but I'm still working on it. So the arm is still flaring out. I still have to keep it tighter to my ear. But once I'm leaning back, I let the kettlebell drop. The reason why I'm leaning back is I want gravity to do its thing, and I want to compensate for the weight that is dropping so I can relax my arm. And as you can see, I'm always lifting my heel off the floor. I'm on my toes. The reason why I'm doing this is I want to use my whole body to get the snatch going, and I want to reconnect my arm to my body as quick and as fast as possible when the weight drops, so I can conserve energy. Angie's hustling, Angie's working, and I think now the moment arrives where she feels like she has to stop and she throws away the Apple Watch. You will see it. So I'm always keeping my hands free, my wrists, my hands. We have now she's checking it, and now boom, there goes the Apple Watch. Boom, it goes. So the reason why, if you have something on your wrists, it may obstruct you from getting into a proper hook grip. The hand insertion is very important. So the hand insertion, it happens like boom, once you get the kettlebell rolling. Just stop for a quick second. I'm gonna show you. The insertion happens right here. You see that? The kettlebell is turning and boom, I'm spearing the kettlebell, boom. And so if you have something, now you see it perfectly. If you have something on your wrist that blocks the kettlebell from a nice proper hand insertion, from a nice proper hook grip, you will feel it. The kettlebell will probably be a little bit higher on your palm and on your wrist, and that will, you will burn energy with your forearm, and it will kill you in a snatch. Not kill you per se, but your arms will burn. You know what I'm saying. Now Angie has to drop. Has to drop the weight. She's getting a little bit mad, and I know where Angie's coming from because this is so important. If you do this heavy stuff, now I'm switching sides. That's what we always do. We always check the wrist to see if something happened. If skin is lost, any skin that was lost, let's remember for a few seconds all the hand skin that we lost, the palm skin that we lost. Now this side is going much better, much better. So I'm really relaxing. As you can see, I'm leaning back. I'm completely relaxing my arm. I'm feeling this reconnection. I'm totally relaxing my arm once I'm in the backswing. And then I use the whole force of my hip muscles to propel the kettlebell in the overhead top fixation. And depending on your style, sometimes the acceleration pull, where you pull the kettlebell into the hand insertion, the hook grip, it happens right here on shoulder level, and sometimes that happens on chest level. I believe it's kind of like preference. That depends a little. So I'm really comfortable with the weight. Now Angie's getting mad, and that's what we always talk about. It's not easy. You have to master your emotions before mastering the kettlebell. But Angie, she's so strong. She's doing so good, and she's confident enough to tackle the whole workout with the 16, and sometimes she has to drop. I think that's the first time she's going with a 60 reps in total with the snatch. She used to go for 40 reps in total with the 16, and I think that's the first time she went for 60. And she always feels it. She always tells me, listen, I felt it wasn't, I didn't feel as nice. And so I'm focusing on dropping the kettlebell, really relaxing, dropping, and I'm kind of like working on my timing. Where do I have to pull the kettlebell? Where do I have to fix my back and my rotator cuffs to fix the kettlebell in the overhead top fixation? And now I got my 60 reps in, and now I'm switching to the squat. I think I'm still waiting for, no, I'm not waiting for Angie. I'm just resting. And now I know I got 30 reps to do. And these 30 reps are always put them into smaller chunks. I think that's the first 24 kilo workout I was doing after 1 week break. So that took me some energy right there. So I'm always putting it down into smaller chunks. If you feel strong, if you feel ready, you can do all 30 reps at once, but I always try to, just put it in smaller chunks. That's for the mind. That's kind of like easier to handle, because you know, okay, I got 5 reps to do, then I'm gonna rest. And resting with the kettlebell is something that you can learn if you want to master kettlebell training for a longer time. So now we've been working for over 10 minutes now without dropping the kettlebell. So that's tough stuff. And I'm using the stretch reflex. I'm letting myself drop into the squat, and then using the stretch reflex, immediately contracting the muscles to get back up, to use this energy, this elastic energy that creates that is really helping me to work the squat even better. And it's a front squat, so I have to make sure that my knees are out, my toes are pointing out, and my chest is up. And I think now we're almost done. Angie's almost done with the reps. And now she's fighting, she's working hard. Angie's working hard. That's what's up. So the reason why I put my knees out, it is so important. It's a front squat. So the front squat differs from the back squat, right? So I have to put my knees out so I can keep my upper back straight, because the weight is in front of me. So I have to compensate for this. If you have the weight in front of you, it's different than if you got the weight on your shoulder or behind you, so to speak. So now I think I'm almost done, and I'm using, you can see my mouth moving like this with this. We call it, it's the power breathing technique, and I use it as a rhythm. That rhythm is like, it tells me, I know it's kind of like the runner's high. I know when I can work indefinitely, and if I use this kind of pacing, then I know, okay, I can keep going. But once I increase the pace with the rhythm, with the breathing, I know, okay, now I'm tapping into my reserves. But now, I just did what I had to do using my pacing. Now you see I'm really contracting my back muscles to keep my back as straight as possible, because in the squat rest position, I'm kind of like caving in, and then I try to stay as upright as possible. And Angie's done. She's relaxing. You got it, babe. That's what's up. Boom, boom. And we're resting for 60 seconds. Now, the squat rest position depends on a few factors. Once it's anthropometrics. So some people have a hard time to get into the squat rest position because of anthropometrics. And sometimes it's a mobility issue. A lot of people are very tight in the hips, so you have to loosen the hips to get those knees out. And then sometimes it gets better. Yeah, that's what's up. So that's how we do it. If you like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel. It's a new series. We're reacting to YouTube workout videos. If you like it, let me know in the comments and see you on the next one.